Hey guys, Bartleman945 here. Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be my review of the new One Piece live action series that just premiered last Thursday on Netflix. Um, this series was the first season and it covered everything through all along part, basically. So let's talk about it. And I gotta be honest, I was definitely one of those people that was very, very skeptical, but it was actually really, really good. There were some problems that I had with it, don't get me wrong about that, but for the most part, it was really, really good. I would probably give it like a 7.5 or 8 out of 10, like in that range. Um, so to start off, I'm gonna start off with the things I liked. Um, Inaki Godoy's Luffy was amazing. Um, he truly brought the exact spirit of the character uh perfectly, I felt. Um, and overall, I think with a few exceptions that look kind of wonky, the CG of the Gum Gum fruit actually looked really good. Um, uh, so, um, so yeah, I really enjoyed Luffy's character. I thought he was great. Um, I gotta be honest, I didn't really like the actor for Nami. I thought I thought Emily Rudd's portrayal was kind of boring. Except for the I will say, she nailed the emotional scenes. In the All on Park episodes. Um, nailed that. But otherwise, it was like kind of missing something. I felt. Speaking of, uh, I really liked Nami's backstory as well. I kind of for all the backstories, I really liked where they were placed. Thought they were like decently thought out in that regard. I also really like Luffy's backstory, kind of backtracking a little bit. I think Shanks looked awesome along with the like Ben Beckman, like Buckaroo, Yasopp, various members of his crew and such. Thought they looked all amazing. Everything about that was just nailed, including like just the general vibe of Shank. Thought that was great. Excuse me. Um. Anyway. Oh, ah, sorry about that. I got some water. Um. Anyway. Uh. Yeah. I liked a lot of the parts of Luffy's backstory, and I think the actor really, really nailed the general like vibe of Shanks. Um, I also liked Sanji's actor. I feel like Baratier was probably one of the arcs that was really hurt by like the cut pacing because there was no Don Krieg, which is a little disappointing because he was probably my favorite East Blue villain. Um, uh, but I really like the way they did Sanji's backstory. I thought Seth looked great. They maybe used the Baratier set a little too much sometimes. But even that's not that big of a problem for me. Um, yeah, I liked Sanji. Zoro was pretty good. Um, my main problem with Zoro is I kind of felt like he was lacking the same energy. I don't know if it was the way he was written or maybe the way he was acted, but something about Zorro's performance kind of just felt lacking energy to me. Like if someone forgot to uh, drink a monster before going into work one morning or something. I do really like how his backstory was done, though. I thought that was spectacular stuff. Um, and the entire like Syrup Village part was amazing. I like Kyle looked great. Her actress was amazing. Huro was freakishly accurate to the anime. And I think the Straw Hat that they did the best was absolutely Usopp, in my opinion, because they definitely mellowed him down, and that was a good thing. Because I personally liked how over the top and excessive he was, but that is a characteristic from the early episodes that would not have translated well into live action. I liked how human his backstory sequences felt. Along with like, I felt like he really managed to mellow down the over dramatic, over exaggerated characteristics of Usopp while still really nailing the heart and energy of the character. So, mad props to the actor on that, and the costume looks impeccable. Thank God they did not do Usopp's long nose by some freakish CG abomination. Because that would have looked horrible. Um, and going back to Zorro, and what he did, I think easily the best thing about the live action in terms of characters they nailed was Mihawk. Oh my God, Mihawk. Dude, okay. I have a lot to say for how freakishly accurate Mihawk is. Um, Number one is the fact that his swords look exactly the same. Perfect prop design there. His costume looks amazing. The actor looks exactly like Mihawk in every conceivable way. He even sounds exactly like the sub and dub versions of Mihawk, which is absolutely crazy to me. Um, like I've never seen a character nailed so perfectly as Mihawk was in this live action. Okay, sorry, praise ran over. Um, I love the fight with Usopp, or not Usopp, Zoro. I thought their whole duel was very true. The only thing I really didn't like, and this kind of gets back to the fact I just didn't like the way Zoro was performed. I felt like when he kind of uh pledged himself to Luffy, there was not nearly as much emotion as there should have been behind that. Uh, because um and it kind of I'm I'm kind of going all over the place, but that's fine. Um, I kind of I I think my biggest problem with the show is like I understand that they had to go through a lot of things, but at the same time, I really wish there had been a more clear, consistent definition of like, are they a crew? Aren't they a crew? Are they? Aren't they? Aren't they? Are they? And I feel like there's major inconsistencies with the way Zoro acts, the way Nami acts, the way Usopp acts, the way all the characters act, basically, because like they aren't exactly sure whether they're true or not, and then they suddenly are. And the emotion doesn't quite feel there. And I understand part of that is because they didn't have enough time to like connect together as a crew. But I feel like counteract that they should have been a little bit clearer on the definition of whether they were a crew or not, actually. because I kind of really feel like it hurts a lot of the emotional like buildup, and there's a lot less emotional tension present because that definition is very, very inconsistent. Um, um, and I think a big concern I would have for a potential second season of this, beyond how the hell they're gonna make Chopper, um, is they are definitely gonna need a lot more episodes for the second season, purely because the arcs in the Alabasta saga very much served as a very slow build up to Alabasta, which was a much larger arc in scale than anything that had come before it, especially in terms of like the amount of episodes it had in particular. Um, and I feel like if this followed the same pacing structure as the first season, then it would be um I think not only would I think it would be like much lower in quality, unfortunately, and just the pacing and the storytelling would be ruined. And as a result, it would be much less popularly received as a whole, which I really don't want to happen because, like, I have a feeling that based on this first season, it has a very dedicated like cast and like crew behind it who clearly are all deep One Piece fans that really care about it a lot. And I really hate for that to happen. So I'm really hoping that that's something that's really fixed in the second season because if it's not, then it's I'm worried that like all the popularity it might have built up with all the hope and stuff like that, it would just be like squashed instantly, basically. Uh and again, I really don't want that to happen. But anyway, moving on to other well, I guess I'll get the other main negative out of the way here. I really didn't like Arlong. I didn't like basically anything about him. His design Um, like it wasn't so much the CG necessarily. I thought it looked a little goofy on Arlong, but honestly, the other fishmen overall looked great. You could really tell there was actually differentiation in their designs, and didn't just look like humans with blue makeup on, which is something that was very like definite concern. So I think they nailed the design and actually all the overall the action of the different fishmen. Thought that was really well done. And but the thing about Orlong is I just kind of feel like I don't know. I feel like his design was just not at all menacing in any way. Um and I just had like a really big problem with like I feel like his design and the acting behind him and his voice and like his stature were not nearly as menacing and intimidating as they need to be. And as a result, it just kind of felt very lackluster by comparison. I don't even mind that Artron was like sort of way earlier in the story by comparison, but they really I feel like definitely messed up his design. And I feel like he was just not very intimidating at all. So but speaking of villains that were done correctly, let's talk about Bucky because oh my god, Bucky was like basically perfect. First off, Jeff Ward, you could not have had a possible better casting choice for Bucky because Jeff Ward is already an extremely ridiculous and off the rocker actor, and he absolutely brings that through with his energy to Bucky. I thought that the chop CG looked basically impeccable. It was like shockingly incredible how amazing that looked. Also, his makeup was amazing. Like I loved his design and stuff. Um, and he was just nailed perfectly there, I thought. I also really liked the flashback scenes in Lowtown. I thought that Garb looked great. I thought Roger looked fantastic. I liked all the little cameos of the various characters. Um, which now kind of brings me to another major talking point, which is the stuff with Garp and the Marines. Um, Kind of side note, I really liked how X-Man Morgan, Helmeppo, and Kobe were all done. I thought Garp was amazing. I loved his actor, and the Scottish accent that came with. Very enjoyable. And I liked watching like I in general I really liked the Marine subplot, I think, and I really liked watching Garp being tutored by not Garp being tutored. Kobe being tutored by Garp, if it was the other way around, that would be very, very weird. Um, uh, and to be honest, I was honestly able to get behind the launch that like Garp was testing Luffy and all that. Um, so I know some people had a problem with that. I personally didn't. I thought it was fine. Um, I thought Helmeppo was maybe it lingered a bit too long in the story, but like beyond that, I didn't really have a problem with it. Excuse me. I thought the use of observation hockey like Garp, when Luffy was trying to attack, it probably could have been done a little bit better. But and the whole like gum balloon cannonball scene, it kind of worked, but it was still kind of goofy. I didn't mind the early reveal that Garp was Luffy's grandpa. I know that in the actual anime, that's not revealed till way, 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 way later in post Enies Lobby, but I didn't really have a problem with it here. I thought that it worked pretty well, especially considering it was a pretty neat idea to try and combine like the actual plot with the plot of the cover stories and how Garp trained the Marines. I like that, honestly. And I really didn't hate it personally. I feel yeah, I didn't hate it. I thought it was actually done pretty well, and I thought it was like a positive subplot that maybe took a bit too much time, and that I think the only negative I might have with it is I feel like it may have taken up too much time, in comparison to the main plot, because some of the things that felt rushed through kind of felt like there were more times spent on Marines but beyond that, I like the subplot quite a lot actually, and how it was implemented overall. Lastly, the OST was banging. Um, really, really good stuff, and I like the little hints of recognizable themes in there. Um, and I also really, really enjoyed the visuals. I thought they all looked amazing, and the action and CG for the most part. I was talking about a few specific examples, but like action CG for the most part was really, really damn good. Um, Definitely like showing the amount of budget and care that was put into this. Absolutely. So yeah, overall, I had my problems mainly being Zora's performance, Marines taking too much time, pacing problems, and Orlong. Um, But I think if they fix the way they do Zoro's performance and just the overall pacing of it by adding more episodes, then I think we have a really promising idea for a second season. Yeah, that's all my thoughts essentially on the live action. That's gonna be it from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.